Hello everyone, thank you for joining me. I'm Kerry. Today I'll be showing you how to crochet a small house, which was a request I received. When crocheted using 8-ply yarn and a 3mm hook, the large ones, the size is 11 centimeters wide by 15 centimeters or 4¼ inches wide by 6 inches. This medium house crocheted using 4-ply crochet cotton and a 1.5mm hook is 7½ centimeters wide by 9 centimeters or 3 inches wide by 3½ inches. This small house crocheted using 2-ply crochet cotton and a 1mm hook is 5½ centimeters wide by 8 centimeters or 2¼ inches wide by 3 inches. I'll be using Catona cotton, so the size will be slightly smaller than this large one. I'll tell you the size at the end of the video. I'll also be using these colours for my house. And here's some other houses I've made and a few more houses. I'll be using Catona cotton. I've got 238 powder pink, 510 sky blue, 106 snow white, 208 yellow gold and 205 kiwi. I've got a 2.5mm crochet hook, a darning needle to weave in the ends and scissors. Now I'm starting at the bottom of the main house part. I've got my 238, the powder pink, and we start with 15 chain. For row 1, we miss the first chain and work 1 single crochet in each remaining chain. A single crochet is a double crochet using UK terms. For a single crochet, put your hook into the chain, the second from the hook, and bring up a loop. Yarn around the hook and take the hook with this yarn at the end through both loops. So 1 single crochet in each remaining chain. We'll have 14 stitches. That's row 1. For row 2, we're going to increase at both ends. So we start with 1 chain and turn. We work 2 single crochet into the first stitch. Then we'll work 1 single crochet in each stitch to the last stitch. We'll work 2 single crochet in the last stitch and we'll have 16 stitches. So after the 2 single crochet in the first stitch, work 1 single crochet in each stitch to the last stitch. there's one stitch left, work 2 single crochet into the last stitch. For row 3 we start with 1 chain and turn and work 1 single crochet into each of the 16 stitches. For row 4 we start with 1 chain and turn. We work 2 single crochet into the first stitch, then work 1 single crochet into each of the next 14 stitches. And work 2 single crochet into the last stitch. For row 5 we start with 1 chain and turn and work 1 single crochet in each of the 18 stitches. For row 6 we start with 1 chain and turn. We work 2 single crochet into the first stitch, then work 1 single crochet in each of the next 16 stitches. and work 2 single crochet into the last stitch. For row 7 we start with 1 chain and turn and work 1 single crochet in each of the 20 stitches. For row 8 we start with 1 chain and turn. We work 2 single crochet into the first stitch, then 1 single crochet into each of the next 18 stitches. And work 2 single crochet into the last stitch. And that's all the increasing done. The next 5 rows, rows 9 to 13, are all work the same. We work 1 chain and turn and work 1 single crochet in each of the 22 stitches. So that's 5 rows of just straight crochet. So I'll work those 5 rows off camera and I'll be back. Now that's rows 9 to 13 done. Now we're going to start to decrease. For row 14 we start with 1 chain and turn. We're going to work a joined single crochet over the first 2 stitches. So we put our hook into the first stitch and bring up a loop, and hook into the next stitch and bring up a loop. I've got 3 loops on the hook. I put the yarn around the hook and take the hook with this yarn at the end through the 3 loops. Then we work 1 single crochet in each of the next 18 stitches. There are 2 stitches left. We work a join single crochet over the last 2 stitches. So hook into the next stitch and bring up a loop, and hook into the last stitch and bring up a loop. Yarn around the hook and take the hook with the yarn at the end through the 3 loops. For row 15, we start with 1 chain and turn and work 1 single crochet in each of the 20 stitches. For row 16, we start with 1 chain and turn. We work a join single crochet over the first 2 stitches. Then work 1 single crochet in each of the next 16 stitches. Then work a join single crochet over the last 2 stitches. For row 17, we start with 1 chain and turn and work 1 single crochet in each of the 18 stitches. For row 18, we start with 1 chain and turn. We work a join single crochet over the first 2 stitches. Then work 1 single crochet in each of the next 14 stitches. and work a joined single crochet over the last 2 stitches. For row 19 we start with 1 chain and turn and work 1 single crochet in each of the 16 stitches. For row 20 we start with 1 chain and turn. We work a joined single crochet over the first 2 stitches and then 1 single crochet in each of the next 12 stitches. And a joined single crochet over the last 2 stitches. For row 21 we start with 1 chain and turn and work 1 single crochet in each of the 14 stitches. And that's the bottom of the house done except for the neatening row. For the neatening row we don't turn, we start with 1 chain and I like to work my first single crochet just in the last stitch worked there, and then we're going to work 1 single crochet in each stitch on the sides, on the edges, and we'll work 2 single crochet in the corners. So 1 single crochet in each stitch down the side here. Now into the first of the back of the chain work 1 single crochet, and you can work 1 chain quite tightly if you like, and then 1 single crochet in the same stitch, and then 1 single crochet in each stitch along the bottom. So we're working 1 single crochet in each stitch except for each of these corners where we work one single crochet, one chain quite tightly, or just 2 single crochet if you prefer. But sometimes the chain just gives it a little bit more of a point. So I'll work to near the end of the row off camera and I'll be back. Now I'm almost back to the beginning of the row. I work one single crochet in the same stitch as the stitch I started, one chain quite tightly, and slip stitch in the top of the first stitch. So put your hook into the stitch, bring through a loop and take it straight through the loop on the hook, and then fasten off. And that's the bottom of the house done. Now the roof is made in 2 pieces and joined together. I'll be starting on this top piece first. I've got my 510, the sky blue, and we start with a magic loop. There's lots of ways to make a magic loop, so make it how you feel most comfortable. I just put my hook on the yarn, bring the short end over the hook and the long end over the short end to make a circle, yarn around the hook and bring my hook with this yarn at the end through the circle. And then I start with 9 chain. I don't pull my circle tight, so I work 9 chain. We work 1 half double crochet in the second chain from the hook. A half double crochet is a half treble, using UK terms. For a half double crochet, put the yarn around the hook, hook into the stitch a second from the hook, and bring up a loop, yarn around the hook, and take the hook with this yarn at the end through all the loops. Then we work 1 double crochet into each of the next 3 chain. A double crochet is a treble, using UK terms. For a double crochet, put the yarn around the hook, hook into the next chain and bring up a loop, yarn around the hook, take the hook with this yarn at the end through 2 loops, yarn around the hook, hook with the yarn at the end through 2 loops. We need 1 more double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. One half double crochet into each of the following 2 chain, and 1 single crochet into each of the last 2 chain, and then slip stitch into the circle. And we need 2 more flaps the same, so start with 9 chain, work 1 half double crochet in the second chain from the hook, 1 double crochet into each of the next 3 chain, one half double crochet into each of the following 2 chain, and 1 single crochet into each of the last 2 chain, and slip stitch into the circle, and then work 9 chain, work 1 half double crochet in the second chain from the hook, 1 double crochet into each of the next 3 chain, 1 half double crochet into each of the following 2 chain, and 1 single crochet into each of the last 2 chain, and slip stitch into the circle, and then we pull our circle tight. So take hold of this tail and just ease the circle in. To make the little point at the top, we work 3 chain, we work 1 slip stitch in the second chain from the hook, and a single crochet into the last chain, and then slip stitch just in the top, the back of the first chain of the first flap, and then fasten off. And that's the top part of the roof done. I'll just weave in the ends and I'll be back with my white and we'll work the neatening. Now for the neatening, you can join to any stitch. I just like to join to the point here. I've got my 106, the Snow White, for this one, and I start with 1 chain quite tightly and just work 1 slip stitch in each stitch around. Now for neatening rows, it can be easier to have a size or 2 finer hook. It can make it a bit easier to get into the stitches. So just work 1 slip stitch in each stitch back around to where you started. So I'll continue around this one off camera and I'll be back when I get near the end of the row. When you get back to the beginning of the row, just slip stitch in the top of the chain there and fasten off. And that's the top roof part done. For the second roof part, I've got my 510, the sky blue again, and we start with 15 chain. Now we're going to work 6 of these flap things on the chain. The 9 chain will be what we work the first flap on. So we work 1 half double crochet in the second chain from the hook, 1 double crochet into the next chain. That's a treble using UK terms. Then we're going to work 1 treble into each of the following 2 chains. That is a double treble using UK terms. For a treble, put the yarn around the hook twice, hook into the next chain and bring up a loop, yarn around the hook, take the hook with the yarn at the end through 2 loops, yarn around the hook, hook with the yarn at the end through 2 loops, and yarn around the hook, hook through the last 2 loops. So a treble into the next chain as well. Then 1 double crochet into the following chain, 1 half double crochet into the next chain, and 1 single crochet into each of the following 2 chain, and slip stitch into the next chain, and that's our first flap. Then we work 9 chain, we work 1 half double crochet in the second chain from the hook, 1 double crochet into the next chain, one treble into each of the following 2 chain, one double crochet into the next chain, one half double crochet into the following chain, and one single crochet into each of the last 2 chain, and slip stitch into the next chain of the original chain, and then we work 9 chain, work 1 half double crochet in the second chain from the hook, 1 double crochet in the next chain, 1 treble into each of the following 2 chain, one double crochet into the next chain, 1 half double crochet in the following chain, and 1 single crochet into each of the last 2 chain, and then slip stitch into the next of the original chain, and then work 9 chain, work 1 half double crochet in the second chain from the hook, 1 double crochet into the next chain, 1 treble into each of the following 2 chain, one double crochet into the next chain, 1 half double crochet in the following chain, and 1 single crochet into each of the last 2 chain, and slip stitch in the next of the original chain. And we have 2 more to work. We start with 9 chain, work 1 half double crochet into the second chain from the hook, 1 double crochet into the next chain, 1 treble into each of the following 2 chain, one double crochet into the next chain, 1 half double crochet into the following chain, and 1 single crochet into each of the last 2 chain. And slip stitch in the next of the original chain. There should still be 1 chain left, and then work 9 chain. Work 1 half double crochet in the second chain from the hook, 1 double crochet into the next chain, 1 treble into each of the following 2 chain, one double crochet into the next chain, 1 half double crochet into the following chain, and 1 single crochet into each of the last 2 chain. And slip stitch into the last of the original chain. Now we're just going to work along the top in the back of the chain for row 2. We start with 1 chain and we work 1 single crochet in the back of each of the chain along the top. And for row 3 we start with 1 chain and turn and work 1 single crochet in each stitch. And we fasten off. And that's the front there. Now for the neatening row, we join just at the top. We join our 106, the Snow White, and it's going to be worked the same as the other one, but I'm not going to work right along the top because it will be in behind, and we just work 1 slip stitch in each stitch around the flaps and just the first 2 along the top. So just continue around like that. So I'll work the rest of this one off camera. There's the bottom roof piece done. For the door, I've got my 208, the yellow gold, and we start with 4 chain. For row 1, we work 1 single crochet in the second chain from the hook, 1 double crochet in the next stitch. That's a treble using UK terms. And 1 single crochet in the last stitch. The different stitches just gives it a curved edge. For row 2, we start with 1 chain and turn and work 1 single crochet in each of the 3 stitches. For row 3, we start with 1 chain and turn and work 1 single crochet in each stitch. For row 4, we start with 1 chain and turn and work 1 single crochet in each of the 3 stitches. And for row 5, we start with 1 chain and turn and work 1 single crochet in each stitch. Now we're going to work a neatening row right around. We start with 1 chain, we don't turn, and work 1 single crochet in the bottom of the last stitch worked, and then just work 1 single crochet in each stitch around to the next bottom corner. Into the corner stitch, we work 1 single crochet, 1 chain and 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet into the next stitch, and then a single crochet into the last stitch, the same stitch as we started, 1 chain quite tightly, and slip stitch in the top of the first stitch and fasten off. And that's the door done. We're going to work an edge around it, just up around the top, not along the bottom. I've got my 108, the Snow White, and we just join in the bottom there. Now you could work single crochets around it if you'd prefer, but I'm going to work half double crochet. So I start with 2 chain and work 1 half double crochet in the same stitch as the join, and then 1 half double crochet in each stitch up the side there. Around the curve at the top, I'm going to work two half double crochet in each stitch. And then work one half double crochet in each stitch down to the corner. And then fasten off. And that's the door done. Now for the window there are two, but I'll only work one on camera. I've got my 205, the Kiwi, and we start with 4 chain. We work 1 single crochet in the second chain from the hook, 1 double crochet in the next chain, and 1 single crochet into the last chain. For row 2 we start with 1 chain and turn and work 1 single crochet in each of the 3 stitches. And for row 3 we start with 1 chain and turn and work 1 single crochet in each stitch. And we fasten off. We're not going to neaten this one with the Kiwi. We're going to work a row round with the white. So for the neatening we just join anywhere. I'm just going to join in the first stitch along the bottom. I'll join my 106, the Snow White, and start with 1 chain. We work 1 single crochet in the same stitch as the join, and then 1 single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches along the bottom. And then work 1 chain quite tightly and work another single crochet in that same stitch along the bottom, but going up the side, and then work 1 single crochet in the next stitch, and then around the corner, the curve at the top, you could work 2 single crochet in each stitch. You'll probably need 2 single crochet in each stitch along the curve. And then just work 1 single crochet in each stitch down the side, work a single crochet in the first stitch worked, then one chain quite tightly and join with a slip stitch in the top of the first stitch. And when I fasten off, I leave a long tail. I'm going to be using that to embroider on the markings and also to stitch it down. So I'm going to leave quite a bit of a tail. So I've left that much, but it depends on the weight of your yarn as to how much you'll need. So I'll work another window off camera. Now for the flowers on the side, I'll just work one on camera. They'll both be the same. I've got my 205, the Kiwi, and I just work 6 chain. I miss the first chain and work 1 single crochet in each remaining chain. And I fasten off, leaving a little bit of a longer tail. I'm just going to use that to stitch the stem down, and that's the stem. Now for these little flowers, I've got my 510, the sky blue, and I'm just going to join in here. It's in the second stitch in the middle of it. Now my little flowers are just going to be 2 chain and slip stitch in the first chain, the second from the hook, and then slip stitch in the same place as a chain, and then I slip stitch in the next stitch, not in the back of the chain, further up, because I don't want too much of my stem showing, and then work 2 chain and slip stitch in the second chain from the hook. And slip stitch in the same stitch, and then slip stitch into the next stitch and work 2 chain, slip stitch in the second chain from the hook, and then slip stitch in the same stitch as a chain. And then we're going to work 3 in the loop at the top. So slip stitch just in the top there, and work 2 chain, slip stitch in the second chain from the hook, and then slip stitch just in the end there, and then 2 chain, slip stitch in the second chain from the hook, and slip stitch in the end there, and just work another one in the end of 2 chain. and then slip stitch into the next stitch, and we're just going to work down the side. 2 chains, slip stitch in the second chain from the hook, and slip stitch into the same stitch, and then slip stitch into the next stitch, work 2 chain, slip stitch into the second chain from the hook, slip stitch in the bottom in the same stitch, and then slip stitch into the next stitch, and we just need 2 more the same. And then we fasten off. And that's just the little flowers done. Now I'll work 2 more, another window and another lot of flowers, and weave in my ends, and I'll be back and we'll put it together. There's the pieces. I've got the bottom of the house, 2 flowers, 2 windows, the door, the roof top and the roof bottom. The first things I'll do is embroider a doorknob like that on the door, and embroider these markings on the windows, and I'll leave the cotton attached after I've embroidered the markings so I can stitch the windows on. Using the blue cotton, I'll weave the roof pieces together, these flaps, about halfway up, so weave across there, and across the second one and across the third one, and do the same on the bottom part. Now I'll leave the cotton attached after I've weaved the bottom flaps together so I can stitch the top one to the bottom one. So I'll do those few things and I'll be back. The next thing I'll do is stitch the top of the roof to the bottom of the roof evenly like that, and I'll stitch the door to the bottom center of the house bottom, so in there. Next we attach the roof just in there, and I'll attach the flowers just each side of the door. The last thing we do is attach the windows, just one each side, quite close to the edge, so probably in there. So I'll do that and I'll be back to show you the finished house. There's the finished house. The size is 9.5 centimetres wide by 13 centimetres, or 3 3/4 inches wide by 5 inches. If you've liked my video, please like, subscribe and share. I'm also on Pinterest, Facebook, Instagram and Patreon. The details are in the description below, along with the details of my website where I have my patterns and the details of my Facebook group. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.